Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So if you're new here, I'm Jen and I'm sharing my weight loss and now body recomposition journey using GLP-1 medications, like in my case, Mounjaro and now compounded tirzepatide. But today we are diving into, I think is a very important topic, and that is how do you know if your GLP-1 dose might be too strong for you? And let me tell you, this is something I have personally experienced firsthand. I had to go through a lot of trial and error to find that right dose for my body. And honestly, it has made a world of difference once I finally did. So let me give you a little backstory. I started Mounjaro in March of 2023 and I moved to compounded tirzepatide because insurance stinks. I lost upwards of 90 pounds, but now instead of just focusing solely on that number in the scale, pay attention to like body fat percentage, skeletal muscle mass, lean mass, etc., other key areas. I'm monitoring weekly. I want to move to monthly at some point, and I'm using the HUME Health Body Pod that I'm loving. I'm also, making some long-lasting changes to my nutrition. But for the most part of the beginning of this year, it was a real struggle. I had some not so great eating habits that decided it wanted to resurface, and I was battling side effects that really up until this point were close to non-existent, or I could tolerate them. And at one point I was like, maybe it's my thyroid, maybe it's acting up, maybe it's allergy season. But when nothing was helping with the extreme fatigue and then like uncontrollable hunger, I was like, something's off. And so I decided in April, I want to take a step back. I think I'm dealing with a little weight loss fatigue, and let me just reassess the situation. And I think that break allowed me to realize how much the fatigue, brain fog, and just overall quality of my life was being affected. So I was like, let me review my supplements. Let me take a closer look at my nutrition, not just like calories, but like nutrient quality, and even consider maybe I should lower my dose. And that's exactly what I did. I went down to 5 milligrams on May 1st. There were a couple factors outside of the side effects, but I thought, why am I staying or pushing higher when I'm feeling worse, I'm not getting any appetite suppression, and I'm not getting any food noise reduction? And I remembered how effective 5 milligrams, that dose, was for me previously. So I lost over 42 pounds during the 18 weeks I was on it, and that was by far one of the best doses for me. So 3 weeks ago, I decided I'm going back down to 5 milligrams. And guess what? The food noise is almost non-existent. The fatigue and brain fog lifted. I mean, it's pretty much gone, and it's been a game changer for me. I think that experience is what really inspired me to do this video and come up with 10 signs that your GLP-1 dose might be too strong. And also maybe some things to try to do right before you're considering a dose drop. Also talk to your doctor. I'm not a medical professional. But number one is nausea and vomiting. If you're constantly feeling nauseous or you're struggling to keep food down, it really could be a sign that your dose is too high for you. And I'd say before considering a dose drop, try managing them with like smaller meals. Try incorporating some ginger for some nausea. I think, I've read that eating a small amount of healthy fat before taking your dose also can sometimes help with absorption. But if nausea is relentless, talk to your provider. Number two, strategically placed diarrhea. Wasn't a huge issue for me, but I know for some people it has been relentless based on like social media posts. Hydration is key. Electrolytes, have some like a banana, rice, toast, a brat diet. Look into it. They can all be lifesavers, but if you're finding no pattern in your diet and it continues, look at your dose. Number three, which is low blood sugar or hypoglycemia, feeling shaky, dizzy, lightheaded. That was me. That was me on 10 milligrams and also 7.5. If you experience these like symptoms, try to keep some small healthy snacks on hand, because it could also be helpful to add more protein, complex carbs to your meals. And always check with your doctor if you are unsure. I remember in a past video, I talked about an episode that I had in Wegmans. I got very lightheaded, clammy, and I needed to sit down. Thankfully, I was in a food store. I was in the perfect aisle. I grabbed a couple things just to help me as I was figuring out what was happening. And after that is when, I was like, okay, I got to go from 10 to 7.5. And at some point, I thought, no, fatigue, dehydrated, maybe, blood sugars dropping, a couple different things. And when I dropped to 7.5, it got better for a little bit, and then it slowly started creeping back up again. And now, since I've moved to 5 milligrams, it's not happening at all. Number 4 is headaches. Afternoon headaches were a big one for me. Staying hydrated did help, but ultimately, once again, the dose made a huge difference. I say try to track when they occur, and if it's after your dose, after certain meals, see if you can notice a pattern, because I think that could be key. Number 5 is kind of going with the other, but just dizziness and lightheadedness on a general level. Once again, major for me, 10 milligrams, staying hydrated, taking electrolytes. We all know that's the same thing. And if you're experiencing this, when you go from a sit to stand, try to do it a little bit slower, see if that helps. If not, you have to reduce the dose. Number 6, unexplained fatigue. Fatigue was honestly the worst it has ever been for me in February, March, and some of April. Before considering a dose reduction, check your nutrition. Are you eating enough? Are you getting enough protein? Make sure you're, same thing, hydrating throughout the day. Number 7, excessive hunger or loss of appetite. GLP meds are supposed to help with appetite control, but at 10 milligrams, I was having these random bursts of intense hunger. And when I went back 7.5 and then down to 5, it kind of balanced out. But before reducing, try increasing your fiber, your protein. See if that helps with the hunger pains. Number 8, irritability or mood swings. Blood sugar swings can definitely affect your mood. We know that. If you're feeling more irritable, try adding some complex carbs to kind of stabilize your blood sugar. I feel like that helped me. Number 9, insomnia or sleep disturbance. I still struggle with sleep. But what did help me was reducing my dose to a certain extent. But all these things you really need to talk to your doctor about as well to help with sleep. Number 10 is heart palpitations or rapid heartbeat. And that was not a major issue for me, but it's definitely a sign that I was told that your dose is too high. Bring this up to your doctor. That's a huge one. Make sure that there's no other underlying issues. But before we wrap up, I want to hear your experience. Have you experienced any of these symptoms that I just went over, the 10 of them, and did you decrease your dose? Drop a comment below. Let me know what you've tried to manage them. Maybe there's a remedy that helped you that others just haven't tried yet, and maybe it could help somebody else that's watching today's video. But if you found this video helpful, don't forget, take a second, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification so that you don't miss any of my future videos or updates, and just, tips that I feel like could help you on your journey. But stay strong, stay healthy, and I will catch you in my next video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.